The B series was never very reliable.
About the candidates for technician.
Yes?
Naira doesn't want the job.
Why not?
She wanted to be paid in advance.
Then I agree with you. I want someone dedicated to the task, not to shards. That on top of the risk of letting an alb into our technology? You're right. Let's forget about her.
You should make the outlaw Daryl your technician.
Well, I said we might be able to trust an outlaw, but tell me what it was that convinced you.
He knows his way around technology, and I'd say his loyalty is to technology, not his faction.
Ah, that is good to know. I want to believe you. I don't want to judge him by his faction, but I've been warned against hiring outlaws. I hope you're right about him, so... well, fine. We will see. I will take him on. Thank you for helping me with the selection. Here, your payment as promised. I'd better go and take care of my new recruit right away. This should secure us going forward. At least I hope so.
A poor choice strategically.
That's what I said. Not now.
I have to go.
So that didn't work. I saw you.
You saw me what?
I saw how you came through into the dome. Who are you? Why were you allowed in?
That's none of your business.
Then it sounds like you got in here illegally. As much as the clerics claim to control the gates, they really don't seem to be able to stop people getting in. And by that, I don't just mean you. Can you believe it? There are fucking albs in the city.
Who are you?
Caleb. I lead the berserkers who've chosen to settle here in Abessa.
You are separate from the berserkers in Udan?
We have kept our beliefs, but left behind the laws. We have set our own rules here. Well, none of us are allowed to return to Edan now. Or we just end up being sent to the valley. As to why they came here, well, the first settlers were sent to Abessa to plant a world heart to expand the forest of Edan out here. But they were cut off from Edan by the Alps, left on their own to survive. And after a while, they decided to keep it that way. The warlords in Goliath weren't happy. But they're stretched too thin for another conflict, so here we are. And since they settled here, others have joined us. Some are escaped exiles, others just chose to leave Edan.
What do you have against the separatists?
They are coming here, to our city. The only city with a real chance of peace among the factions. If it was up to me, then we would make sure these Albs went somewhere else. They might say we have the same goal, the same enemy, but I don't believe a word of what they say. Who says they aren't spies sent here to deactivate the dome? They can't be trusted.
You want to have all the separatists thrown out of the city?
Yeah. And you know what? I have already started to make it happen. I'll recruit anyone who'll help get this done. We have an eyewitness who claims to have seen the separatists exchanging information with the Albs. Traitorous bastards.
Who is this eyewitness?
The berserker Jorg saw Fenk meet with an Alb in front of the city. Why would they meet if it wasn't to exchange information about the dome? Sadly, Jorg is the only one who's seen Fenk. And now he started saying he isn't sure he really saw Fenk meet an Alb from Zakor. So I have to jog Jorg's memory, or make sure he stops denying what he said. There has to be a way to do that.
You don't think that Jorg could have been wrong in the first place?
No, never. You can't trust these separatists. They'll betray us sooner or later for sure. I'm telling you, this is just the beginning.
I can make sure York stops denying his story.
You can? Do you think you can make York stick to his original story? It's for the good of the city. So go to York and make sure he doesn't talk. Either help jog his memory a bit, or make sure he stays quiet. I don't care which. It can never be said again that the Albs might be innocent.
They're only saying that to keep control of you.
I don't want anything to do with it.
Hey, you're new here in the city, right?
Yes, I've just arrived.
I thought so. I saw you come through the gate, you see? Anyway, I want to ask you something, if that's alright. Have you been to Edan recently? To the Berserkers' city of Goliath, to be exact. A good friend of mine is still there.
Who is your friend?
His name is Kral. He's a guard at the Mana Shrine. At least, he was when I left. He thought he still had a chance to save his brother, Grimar, from the Alb Converter. Do you know what happened to him?
Kral is dead.
No. Shit. Maybe if I'd stayed... You know, I was even planning how I could get to Goliath to see if I could get him out of there. I had this feeling something bad would happen to him. First his brother and then him. A curse on all of Edan. And thanks anyways.
Tell me about your life in Edan.
Me? I was a worker at the pit. You know, I extracted ELEX from old machines so it could be transmuted into mana. I always wanted to join the Hooded Crows and learn the art of magic, but it wasn't to be. My parents forbade me from trying. My clan told me to stop trying. Not that any of that stopped me. And that's what got me banished. I stole mana from the shrine to try and learn magic myself. And I got myself caught. They sentenced me to exile in the Valley of the Damned, but I escaped. I'd seen the Dome City when I was sent on patrol, so when I left Edan, this was the place I thought of. And here I am. Those animals are just getting more and more dangerous.
Oh, yeah?
Are you here to pay me those shards
Hey,
you owe me? Because
you-
I'm pissed at how
Hey.
long you're taking to pay.
It's you.
Yes, Fink. It's me, Jax.
I heard they'd shot you down. That you were dead. Apparently that was wrong. But if you're here, does that mean you're a separatist now? Will you stay here and support our cause? I'm sure you would be very welcome.
What cause?
We've broken free from Zakor, from being slaves to ELEX. And we've worked, persuaded people to allow us into the city. And now we're here, we are working to be allowed to stay. Would you be willing to help us?
I will give you my support.
Good. We have to stick together. People blame us for this war, even though we left Zakor to escape it. They will doubt us until the day peace begins. I mean, they don't even trust each other. Among all these warring people, all these different agendas, we, you and I, share a similar destiny. It's the only way anyone will survive.
It seems like you're tolerated here in the city.
That is exactly what we are. Tolerated. We are still a long way from being accepted.
You should leave here. I'm sure that the Albs would take you back if you gave them information about the dome.
No, I'm never going back. Nara can say what she wants, but there's no way back. This city offered me protection, I will never betray it. This city is a place of freedom, but all the old suspicions remain. The outlaws claim they are being oppressed. The clerics say they are neutral, but they aren't. The berserkers, they don't seem to know what they're doing, apart from avoiding their laws. We are trying to discover who we are. I think people see that we are all here for a new start.
Do you need help?
It is good that you offer to help us. The berserkers are already trying to get us thrown out of the city. We need the protection offered by this place. We won't survive without it. We've persuaded people here that we are worth a chance. But there will always be those who won't see it that way. And the Albs and Zakor want us dead. If we're to stay, we need someone to get to Caleb and Jorg. They are key to our future.
About the threat of you being thrown out of the city. I will help you.
Good. That is the response I wanted. It is best if you go straight to Jorg. Caleb is already attempting further arguments to ensure our expulsion. But it is Jorg's statement that has put us in danger. That lie underpins Caleb's argument against us. If people believe we are working with the enemy, we will be exiled from the city and left to die. But if Jorg confesses his lie, then Caleb would no longer have the proof he claims. They would have no reason to expel us.
What is the problem with Caleb and Jorg?
Jorg is a berserker. He's accused us of spying for the Albs and Zakor. He claims he saw us handing over information about the shield generators. It's completely illogical. We are the ones with the most to lose if Zakor captures this city. But the free people are prisoners to emotion. It makes them doubt logic. They have already thrown one of our group out of the city. Now they are threatening the rest of us with the same fate. We are no friends of the Albs and Zakor. They would see us dead. We want this to be our home now. We need the free people to understand this.
What goods have you got?
Why are you doing yourself over that?
Some guys just open their mouths too much.
Is that a fact?
I have to go.
Yeah, sure.
Well then.
Fuck all of them. I hope they drown in their own shit.
Don't go trying to steal stuff. I've had an... If you're here for the food rations, then I'll tell you what I told the other 100 people. Someone must have been making a joke. I don't have anything to sell or give out, so you can just turn around and leave.
I'm not here about the food rations.
You're not? Ah, is that so? Well then, I'm sorry. I have been the butt of a joke that has left me rather angry, and I thought... Well, I'm sorry. It's just... I'm just so sick of it. The belligerence between the berserkers and outlaws. Everything was simpler when I was a cultivator in Goliath. We had laws and everyone obeyed them. Why can't people just all work together?
If you feel that way, why don't you go back to Goliath?
No. Those days are gone. I left willingly to establish a world heart here in Abessa. But when it became clear that the seedling wouldn't grow, Caleb decided that we would remain here. And whatever Caleb says is best. But now, no, I can't go back. We went against orders from Goliath. If I go back now, they'll just stick me in a cage, no questions asked.
Caleb sent me.
What does he want now? I testified about what I saw, just like he wanted me to. This whole thing between Caleb and Fink is starting to get on my nerves. I shouldn't have said anything, okay? But what's done is done, and that's that.
Tell me your version of the story.
My version? I'm stuck between the two of them. I told Caleb in confidence that I saw Fink meet an Alb outside the city. Could have been a separatist, but I wasn't sure. I didn't see any more than that, but Caleb decided to tell the clerics. He convinced me that the Alb Fink met must have been from Zakor. But I have no real idea who he was, or what faction he's with.
About this situation with the separatists.
Do you have any idea what I should do? I feel this is a mess.
Go to the clerics and tell them you made a mistake.
I can't do that. Caleb will call me a traitor. And for all I know, Caleb is right. That Alb could have been from Zakor. What if Fink actually is an Alb spy?
You shouldn't let Caleb intimidate you.
You're right. I let him push me around even when we were living in Goliath. I was always following someone or other and doing what they told me. You're right. I've done Caleb's bidding without question for far too long, and where's it got me? I'll go to the clerics and tell them the Albs are innocent. You've helped me decide. Thank you. I will go to the clerics and do the right thing. I don't want someone to be thrown out of the city because of me.
Too easy.
Excellent.
Then why are we still working?
Hey, thanks for the recommendation. I got the job as Vivian's technician. And so, before I do the work, you get the pay. An outlaw always pays his debts. Ugh. I got that taste in my mouth again like I bit into a bowl of ashes.
York! What can I do for you?
I'm here to do the right thing.
You want to do the right thing? Wait, aren't you the one who saw the Separatist meeting with the Owls?
Yes. Yes, that was me.
And your reason for being here is... and why isn't Caleb here? There's a chain of command for a reason.
Caleb is not our leader. He just settles most things. But there's also... I'm here to admit that I lied for him.
You did what?
I lied. I saw Fink meet with another separatist. I don't want the separatist to be thrown out of the city because of me.
You have been brave to admit your lie. And you've done it before it had major consequences. But this deceit can't go unpunished. I will speak to you after I've spoken to Fink. I'll send for you, York, when I've thought about this further.
The domed city is our last hope.
Later, all right?
The fight is the only thing that matters. That makes it real.
You may remain in the city.
You managed to get Jorg to admit his lie to the clerics? That is good. It seems we can trust in the cleric's justice after all. Your service should be rewarded. That is half of my daily ration. I hope it is enough to show thanks.
I wonder if he was serious about that.